fundus image which we see from our ophthalmoscopy examination. This is disc, macula, retinal vessels and the posterior pole. So what is hypertensive retinopathy? Hypertensive retinopathy is fundus changes that is occurring in systemic hypertension. We are seeing changes in retina, choroid and optic nerve, that is retinopathy, choroidopathy and optic neuropathy. Then what is the pathophysiology behind it? Retinal vessels are somehow different from other blood vessels of our body. They are having absence of sympathetic nerve supply, autoregulation of blood flow and presence of blood retinal barrier in retinal vessels. So whenever there is increase in blood pressure, it is transferred directly to our retinal vessels. So initially our blood vessels constricts, and when further increase in blood pressure occurs, there is compensatory tone and damage to muscle layer and endothelium layer of retinal vessels. Then three phases of hypertensive retinopathy. First is vasoconstrictive phase. In this phase, due to local autoregulatory mechanism, there is vasospasm in retinal arteries and there is narrowing of arterioles and veins. In older patients, arteriosclerosis occurs and there is focal arteriolar narrowing also. In sclerotic phase, there is persistent increase in blood pressure which causes thickening of intima layer of blood vessel, hyperplasia of medial layer and hyaline degeneration of arterial wall, which leads to severe form of arteriolar narrowing. There will be AV crossing changes in our retina and the reflex of retinal walls are changes that is seen as silver and copper wiring. Then AV crossing changes occurs when thickened arteriole, mainly these arteries and veins, they share a common adventitious sheath. So when thickened arteries are compressing these veins, there is AV crossing changes in our retina, which is visible on ophthalmoscopy. Our veins become dilated and tortuous. Then exudative phase, if further severe increase in BP occurs for some time, there will be disruption of blood retinal barrier. Then there will be leakage of blood and plasma in retinal substance. In this stage, retinal signs are retinal hemorrhages, that is flame-shaped and dot-blot hemorrhages. Hard exudates are seen. Due to retinal ischemia, cotton wool spots are seen, and optic disc edema is also seen. Then what are the clinical features which we see in hypertensive retinopathy? First of all, what are the arterial changes? So there is decrease in arteriovenous ratio. Normally, arteries and veins diameter are in a fixed ratio, that is 2:3. But due to hypertension, their lumen gets narrowed and this ratio decreased to 1:3. And there is also change in arterial light reflex. Due to the thickening of vessel wall, the color of blood column of retinal vessels is not visible and it appears as copper and silver wiring. Then what are these AV crossing changes? There are three changes at arteriovenous crossing. This lighter one is artery, darker one is vein. So artery is above this vein. When artery is compressing vein, first sign is Salus sign, that is deflection or deviation of vein at AV crossing. Then gun sign is tapering of veins on either side of AV crossing. Then third is Bonnet sign is basically having a triad, which is showing AV nicking, that is AV narrowing, and cotton wool spots. The second number is cotton wool spots, and third one is splinter hemorrhages. So when artery is compressing vein, there will be blood collected in vein on either side of crossing. Now after arterial and AV crossing changes, there are some changes occurring in retinal substance. In retina, there are 10 layers. So there are two vascular plexuses running in retina. One is deeper, one is superficial. So whenever there is superficial vascular plexus is involved, there will be flame-shaped hemorrhages. And when there is deeper section is involved, there will be dot-blot hemorrhages. Then retinal substance, retinal exudates are also seen. Two types of exudates are seen in retina. One is hard exudate and second is soft exudates. Hard exudates are mainly extravascular lipid deposits which are leaking from retinal walls. And soft exudates are due to infarction of retinal nerve fiber layer. that are known as cotton wool spots. So these are white fluffy lesions. They are in second picture. They are soft exudates due to infarction of RNFL. And in this first picture, there is these lipid waxy lesions with clear-cut margins. They are hard exudates and they are present in outer plexiform layer, that is the deeper layer of retina. So cotton wool spots are superficial and hard exudates are deeper. Then what are the changes we see in macula? So this is disc and the second is macula. At macula also hard exudates deposit, but at macula the deeper layer of retina, that is outer plexiform layer, is present in a radial fashion. So these hard exudates are deposits in a star-like fashion. They are known as macular star. This macular star change is present when patient's BP is more than 160 by 100. Then further, if BP rises more than 180 by 110 mmHg, there will be involvement of choroidal vessels also, and these changes we can appreciate on ophthalmoscopy. First is Elschnick's spot. Elschnick's spot is black spots with yellow halo due to infarction of retinal pigmentary epithelium. Normally the RPE layer is just present in connection with choroid. So choroidal vessels are supplying the outer 4 layers of retina. Whenever there is increase in blood pressure, this choroidal ischemia occurs, and it also leads to ischemia of retinal vessels and causes Elschnick's spots to appear. Then second is Sigrist streak. They are due to fibrinoid necrosis of choroidal vessels and retinal pigmentary epithelium in malignant hypertension. Choroidal vessels changes are only appreciable when BP is 180 by 100. Then finally, optic neuropathy, when disc is also involved. Normally our optic nerve is supplied by pericapillaries originated from choroidal vessels. So due to high blood pressure, choroidal vessels in ischemia occurs and optic nerve gets disc edema. Then according to these changes, there is one classification, Keith Wagner and Barker classification. In grade 1, there is mild generalized arterial attenuation or narrowing of vessels occur. Then broadening of arterial light reflex and vein concealment present. In grade 2, in the first picture, along with the generalized narrowing of arterioles, in second picture, focal attenuation is also seen. And along with these changes, Salu sign is also present in grade 2. In grade 3, retinal substance is also included. There is flame-shaped hemorrhages, cotton wool spots, hard exudates, Bonnet sign, gun sign, copper wiring. These all changes are present in grade 3. In grade 4, disc is involved. There will be, along with this grade 3 changes and silver wiring, there is disc edema also. First picture is showing copper wiring of arterioles and the second picture is showing silver wiring of arterioles. Silver wiring is present in grade 4, copper wiring is present in grade 3. Then Michel and Wong classification comes in 2004. According to this grading, significance is explained. According to this, there is 3 gradings: mild, moderate and severe retinopathy. In mild retinopathy, grade 1 and grade 2 Keith Wagner changes are present, that is the narrowing part and the copper wiring. This is present in mild retinopathy. If mild retinopathy changes are seen on fundoscopy, that means it is having a moderate association with risk of stroke, and there is subclinical stroke or coronary heart disease is going on. Then in moderate retinopathy, when we see grade 3 changes, that is hemorrhages, cotton wool spots, hard exudates, there is strong association with clinical stroke. Then in severe retinopathy or malignant hypertension, when BP is rising more than 180 by 100, there are changes in optic disc also, and it is a strong association with mortality and renal failure. Now what will we do in hypertensive retinopathy management? In mild hypertensive retinopathy, the treatment consists of controlling of BP with regular monitoring. In moderate hypertensive retinopathy, refer patient to physician to exclude other associated factors like diabetes mellitus or check for any cardiovascular abnormality. Here also routine care including BP control and monitoring is a must. In severe hypertension, it requires an urgent treatment and referral as it has the strongest association with the mortality. At this level, target organ damage started. So there is damage to renal, cardiovascular and brains. So here we have to decrease blood pressure but not suddenly. We have to decrease pressure stepwise in few hours. Then if there is macular edema, normally all these changes are including vessel, disc, but if macula is involved and there is macular edema, then ophthalmologist perform surgeries or intravitreal injections. Bevacizumab injection is given for macular edema. Then this is a summarized table. If there is mild rise in hypertension, that is 130/80, and there is grade 1, 2 or milder retinopathy changes, only lifestyle modification and BP monitoring is needed, and every 1 to 2 year fundus examination is needed. If there is moderate rise in blood pressure when BP is 140/90 and we are seeing grade 3 changes and moderate retinopathy changes, a tight BP control is needed and the other associated risk factors to be controlled and annually fundus examination to be done. And if there is severe rise in BP more than 160/100 and we are seeing grade 4 hypertensive retinopathy changes and severe papilledema is there, then emergency BP